Market recap for Friday, the 14th of November, 2025. Right? I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet because it was a simple, easy day. There's not much explaining to do. Right? So let's just start with the daily time frame. As you can see, we have a wick, right? Well, first of all, let's get rid of all of this, right? Let's just see what happened. Thursday, we have a big dump, right, towards this liquidity, which when you see it in the lower time frame, you can tell this is a market maker sell model. This was the smart money reversal, and our target is this low, right? Once we do that, we could either go more or reverse right into the range for now. And this could be the smart money reversal for this market maker buy model, right? Could be. Regardless, we don't care about that. We care about what's today. So you can see what's like a PDA under that is the wick, right? Which is graded here. This is the upper quadrant, this is the midpoint, and yeah, so that's what I have as PD arrays to reverse. Okay, so now let's get to the 4 hour. Initially, we have an open fair value gap here, and then we drop without going into it, right? So that's a draw on liquidity. So I noted that, and yeah, again, same thing we take here, but there's like kind of the star, the order block here, but not really something I'd use. Right, 1 hour, we have this fair value gap with the relative equal lows that bugged me out on the 17th of October when we left and didn't take them intraday. It did not make sense to me at all. And just because of that, I would not mind this being a market maker sell model. Just all of this just to get that. Like that is so possible that this is the low now, just to get that. And I'm like, that's how much it bugged me. Like that liquidity that day had to be taken, but it didn't, right? And if that's the low and we came back to clean this up, I do not mind, right? Now, if we go any lower, we're actually bearish, and I'd expect us to visit this, right? And maybe even extend to this and this, but like right now that's too far to ask. But now this is the lowest that we should have went, right? Just to get these fucking lows that bugged me out. I'm telling you, this whole run I'm looking up, I'm just scared of us coming back to these lows. But once we gapped up this high, this is just out of opinion. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Now I know what happens when lows like this get made, blah blah blah, and it's gone, right? You see ES, and for that reason, ES didn't have them lows, and ES actually took it last time. And that's why I would expect ES to have the SMT, and it does. ES doesn't take this low, right? NQ does. So that's all you need to know for, okay, there's really good potential that the market is making a reversal. Okay, why? Because once we drop into the lower time frame, right, and we start looking at it from this sense at 9:15, right, what can we see? Accumulation, and then we're going down. If you really break it down, it's accumulation, first stage, second stage, and here we're waiting for what? 9:30, right? So let me slap back the annotations. 9:30 to do the smart money reversal, right? This is the 15-minute fair value gap. Inside it, the real fair value gap, right? And you notice we didn't even touch the real fair value gap to fill it. And on top of that, we are above what I would like us to reverse from, which would be the CE of that wick on the daily, okay? So we open, and I had this breaker drone before it even happened, right? I know this is going to be the break. I'm expecting this, right? And then I'm noticing, cool, right? We make relative equal highs with it. That's nice. We're definitely going to come back up to it. And then boom, as you can see, market drops all the way down to the CE of the real fair value gap, close to the CE of the 15-minute fair value gap. Regardless, you don't want it, you don't care about the actual low. It's the reaction. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 minute took out the whole range, top of the breaker, right? So I had my limit on top of the breaker, okay? And now at this time, notice liquidity. Notice the liquidity on the chart. I have all the liquidities, buy side and sell side. And you'll notice at this current time, there's only sell side one left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buy side I've drawn. At this current time, the ratio is 0 to 5. So where do you think price is going to go? Right? And if this is a market maker sell model, which is pre-Asia, we're accumulating. Asia starts going down, right? Then London starts going down, accumulating. And then pre-whatever, New York starts going down. New York starts accumulating at like 7, right? With this high, and then starts accumulating. Next to what looks like a potential place for a smart money reversal, causing this breaker at 9:30, like the early breaker, right? Which would have its own standard deviation, right? And we'll just take the whole thing and just get the 2.5 and the 4, which lines up. Regardless if this is gonna go down, I need the whole range from this high to this low to go to discount, at least, even if it wants to go down, regardless, right? But the fact that it's done it like this, see, if it went down but didn't take the low and then went up, yes, it was gonna go up and go down. But the fact that it took it and made it a breaker, that means it's most likely not gonna go down, okay? On top of that, we go up, right? We have all this buy side, and then we have our opening range gap, which is huge at this point, right? Huge opening range gap, almost 400 points. We need to go at least fill some of it. So this is the midpoint. I have it drawn, and on top of that, the 2.5 is here. So everything, if we're going to reverse, price has to hold around here because it's above discount. If we're going to reverse, we're going to reverse. So buying to like here or like the midpoint, I'd say, is a high probability trade, okay? And that's exactly what my buy limit order was. But then I started dragging the stop loss, right? And I was like, this is too big. Let me try getting the fair value gap if it can give me one more here and dig into the fair value gap, right? Which I seen ES was doing, because ES at this current time was digging down, right? Because it still didn't break out the break. I was like, ooh, going down, I can get better entry, because remember, this range is too big for a stop loss. That is too big for a stop loss for me, right? And I was not willing to take that. Anyway, it goes up, and then I realized I just missed the perfect entry that I would want. Yes, there is an entry here on the order block, but look how much it wicks down, right? I couldn't frame it. I was like, all right, cool. That's it. Done. I should have not moved my order. Next time I learned to just leave it at the breakup block, just enter with lower contracts and just trust it, right? And if I lose, I lose. And that's fine. That's actually maturity. I actually just said, you know what, I missed it. Fair enough. Could I get on the move later? Yes. But this is how I would want to enter, right? Probabilities start falling off once we go up. And the fact that I said that and just locked off my account and said, I don't need it, which I really don't need it. I don't need the win today. I don't care, right? I literally don't need it. It's fine. As long as everything and my analysis everything was right, I was right. It doesn't matter that I didn't enter just because I didn't like the risk. I was right because my order was right there, right? And then once I actually went here on paper and seen the risk, I didn't like the risk, right? I just didn't like the risk, and that's fine, right? First presented, we go up. I wanted to get in here on the first presented. Nope, didn't let me. Goes all the way up to the breaker range, and now I don't know how much it could go down, right? But now I know, just trust the breaker every time, right? Just trust the breaker. And that's it. Next time I'm gonna trust the breaker. I'm probably gonna de-risk if I want to, like, a bit lower, right? But that's too much for a stop loss for me. And also, it was kind of breaking my rules because I don't trade before 9:40. However, I do have it now allowed for this type of day, because this does happen, right? Here and there, it does happen, this type of opening. Regardless, that to the ORG, and you'll see it's just gone, right? There. So simple, so easy. Now, we're waiting for 2.5, and notice what price does. Look at that high, right? cool, we hit 2.5, but that doesn't mean, oh, short. That doesn't mean it's time to trade. No. We need to wait for like around the 10:30, 10:50. We need to see if we're going to make the high. Or we're going to dump at 10:50. Okay, we make a high, we make something, right? There's something that fall on paper, by the way. Need to know. 10:10 we make this high, however, we don't make no SMTs, nothing, right? And then we kind of displace, right? Making like a breakaway, tap a gap, and then a gap here. Took this on paper. Boom, stopped out instantly. Shows you I was wrong on this direction now, because I was like, okay, this means we could short because it looks like we're making an intermediate term high, blah blah blah, right? And that comes with an SMT here, which ES fills the gap, right? NQ doesn't. Bullish SMT, okay? That's still not enough, right? We need to break out this range. And then as you can see, we still don't. Boom, right there. That there is your breaker, okay? I'm just make sure you're gonna buy that. That's your breaker, breaking above this, basically the midpoint. This is where, if we're gonna reverse, this is how we should reverse. We should never take this, and this fair value gap is your entry, but I would want to include the whole break as a stop loss, right? And now what do we have? Oh, we have buy side. What we're aiming for, 4. What's 4? That's the standard deviation, right? That means we're not going to just go to 2.5, we're more likely go to 4, and that could be a continuation entry that would get the whole market maker buy model from the bottom to the high. And after that, price could extend. We have launch high right there if it wants to, and we could just not do anything. You can see it goes and gets launch high. After that, guess what? We sweep the relative equal highs, as you can see here, and we should start closing the range. I'm guessing that's what we do. I didn't really check at the end, right? It's just a fair value gap on the 5-minute. I had it marked. Shouldn't be black because that should have been a breaker block type of thing marking, but yeah. And yeah, as I said, there's nothing to trade. After we hit this, there's literally nothing to trade, right? You're just trying to catch something out of nothing. There's nothing to trade. There was to like this, but like, come on, it's the probabilities, the whatever, all done the second that we hit this. Technically, the second that we hit this high, because now we finished the market maker buy model. The sell side of the curve took long, but the buy side just took 1 hour and 20 minutes to be done. 10:50 we're done, right? It was such a good and easy day. Now that I know, if I miss this entry for any reason, I can trust taking this entry, because what I was scared of before is taking this entry. Now I've seen this entry so many times, I'm confident in it. This entry, and I know every time price doesn't give you an easy entry, right? Like that it didn't come into this fair value gap and offers an entry and to go. It will always offer a second one, right? The second one could have been this SMT thing, but like in here, nah. This was the clean entry. This break, this gap, which goes on top of a quadrant, goes through the midpoint of a wick, which means we could explore the high of it, which the high should be like somewhere around here, right? And as you can see, we go all the way up, accumulate at the midpoint of a new weekly opening gap, goes down, okay? Simple as that. So yeah, that's the market recap. Ain't much. You know, London, I mean, what's it called? Asia manipulates above new weekly opening gap. London manipulates above midnight opening. We go down, and then we just create a market maker buy model. Very simple. Just honestly, the easiest day I've seen, like to get liquidity, right? I mean, or to just target. Anyway, that's the market recap. Peace out.